Hey everybody, it's Ethan from Rec Room again, and this week we're going to be talking about how to make money as an artist. And yesterday we talked about, being a studio musician, what that looks like in terms of, being hired in a studio or on a tour or, kind of wherever, kind of honing your craft. So today we're going to talk about sync music, which is something I'm really excited about and that I really enjoy. It's something I'm learning a lot about and I think is an awesome avenue to make money as an artist, something that can really support you. But before I want to get into it, I just wanted to remind everyone that we're going to be doing a recording workshop this Friday and Saturday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be recording Lauren Grace, who is just an amazing singer-songwriter, and we're going to be going from recording, mixing, mastering, start to finish. It's going to be just a really cool time in the studio. And the link for that is in our bio on Instagram, or it's in the link on our page on Facebook right now. So yeah, I would love for you guys to sign up. So yeah, just kind of getting into it, right? What is sync music? So you hear that term a lot, probably if you're, researching, how to make money as an artist, or even, different podcasts or even posts that talk about sync music. So sync music is when someone licenses your music to use to picture. So a video, so a movie, a TV show, a documentary, a wedding video, right? You name it. That's what a sync license is. So you get paid an upfront fee, which is called like a sync fee, and then you get back-end royalties paid out through your pro, which is your performance right organization, quarterly, based on what kind of placement you get and how many plays and things like that. So it's really cool. It's something that I think is really helpful for artists, and there's so many opportunities because there are so many TV shows and movies now with the pandemic and everything kind of easing up. There's still so many new TV shows and movies, so lots of content for video, so you need lots of content for music. So yeah, so just wanted to kind of review what some of the basic places you can get hired in or what those avenues are for sync music, right? So you can kind of hear about it and people talk about how much money there's in it, but like how do you actually do it? So the main player in this is called a music supervisor. So a music supervisor is somebody who is basically someone who is able to pick all the music, right? So they're picking all the music for the shows, and they place it based on basically just dialogue, right? Which is kind of cool in that they are just watching this dialogue go through with the actors and trying to think of like, okay, what music would fit this scene, what music would fit this kind of idea and mood I want to go with. And so right, they're the main players. They pick the music. They love picking independent artists. They love quote unquote breaking artists in the way of like making them have a little more notoriety or fame. They just seem as an accomplishment to them. So that's the big player, right? Music supervisors. They're the ones that pick. They still answer to the director. The director still has to okay the music. Second player would be a library, so a music library. So this is something that like a music supervisor, someone they trust. So you can get your music placed in a music library, which is cool, and you have to tag it correctly with metadata. That's just descriptive words. So if your song is happy, sad, whatever, that's what metadata is. And a music supervisor uses a library. They search through the library, and they're able to find something that is sad, that sounds like Billy Joel, that that gives me this kind of feeling, and they're able to kind of audition that song. And then if they like it, they'll sync it or place it. And then the third way that a lot of people will get music in for sync is a sync agent. So this is someone who directly represents you and your music, and they are also pitching directly to music supervisors. So if you want to do kind of less work and not have to like spend a lot of time pitching, this is something that you're able to just hire someone on, and they're responsible for pitching your music. Now with everything, right, with music, right, a music library and a sync agent will take an upfront fee. So they will take 50% of the fee that you make. So let's kind of talk about what people normally want to talk about is how much money can you make in sync music. So I wanted to kind of go over the two types of fees you get, and then the three types of placements that are pretty traditional. So with the fees, there is the upfront sync fee, which is just a one-time payment to you to license the song, and then there's the back-end royalty section, which is paid out through your pro, and so that's paid out quarterly, and is more of passive income. And that's dependent on the movie, TV show, documentary success, and also what kind of placement you get. So there's three main types of placements. There's an instrumental background, there's a vocal background, and then there's a vocal main placement, or I forget the official term, but they each pay a different amount of money, and they're each used a different way. So instrumental placement is pretty fun, but that is something, right? There's no vocals; it's just kind of background music, and it just kind of fits the mood. And that's primarily people use libraries. The music supervisors use libraries for that, and that can pay anywhere between $500 to $1,000, for like 20 seconds of your instrumental, which is still great, right? And I should note all this stuff is traditionally non-exclusive in that someone else could use your song for another movie. So it's not just one TV show or movie uses your music and you're done. It's you can be used elsewhere. The second is like a vocal background placement. So think of like someone driving in a car. They turn on the radio. That music is something that they had to sync, right? Any music in that show or movie is synced. So if you're hearing lyrics, right, it's a vocal background placement, and that can pay anywhere between like $2,000 and $5,000, depending on how important it is for the show and how much they use, which is still really great, right? You talk about that's a lot of money for just 20 seconds for your song. And especially, if you think about royalties and selling merch and stuff, that's a lot of T-shirts or that's a lot of streams just for one placement kind of thing. The third placement, and I think it's like one that's pretty most, what everyone would want, is that vocal main placement. So that's kind of the end scene montage where you're at the end of like, let's say, an episode of a TV show, and the main actor is finally succeeding or finally getting there, and the dialogue and the music is kind of interwoven, so the lyrics kind of match what the dialogue and the overall feel of the song or feel of the movie and scene at that particular moment are. And they kind of will bring up the music, you can actually hear the lyrics, then you bring it back down and there's dialogue here. And that is a main placement that's used directly in the scene, and that's normally traditionally about $5,000 to $20,000 of an upfront fee, right? So which is awesome. I mean, you get 5 of those, at $20,000, you're making 6 figures as an artist, which is awesome. So yeah, so those are the 3 types of fees, or 3 types of placements, and then the 2 types of fees. And right, like I said, each one has that background royalty that you can kind of get. So yeah, I just wanted to go over, I guess, some tips to stand out, right, in the sync music world, right? So, a lot of people are talking about sync music. A lot of people are, trying it out. How do you stand out from the rest? There's so many TV shows and movies, which means there's so much music needed. So a big thing is, I've seen and even communicate with music supervisors is they'll get just email blasts all the time from artists, where an artist will send an email to everybody saying, hey, I have a new single, I think it'd be great in this TV show. And they'll send it to like 40 music supervisors. They haven't done any research to see if that song would actually fit. And right, the music supervisor just deletes it. Right, so a tip to stand out is do your research, which is something I'm going to talk about tomorrow because it kind of really gets in the weeds of what sync music is. But essentially it is, doing your research is fun, is that you're watching a TV show that you want to be placed in, that you feel like your music fits in, that you have a similar artist that sounds like you in, so that you're able to target your pitch directly to that music supervisor, so you're not wasting your time or their time, and you can be very helpful, right? You're helping them in their job. Another thing, and this is something that stands out, is, music supervisors will get a lot of music, but right, the first 10 seconds, they'll listen to it, and if it's not to a professional grade, recording, mixing, mastering, they're gonna just shut it off. Because, right, think about it, main TV shows and movies have big artists in them that record and produce in huge studios, and that's not to intimidate anyone. You can still get a really great sound from home or like local studios and things like that, but your music and the way it sounds has to kind of fit that, because it would be distracting in the movie if it didn't. And so that's, and I've talked about that yesterday, right? Like your portfolio or what you do has to be really good to kind of make sure that you kind of get this. And these are, if you think about it, a lot of people will talk about how, maybe recording their music isn't a good investment and things like that. This is a way that you can actually make money back for recording. This is a way you can make an income. And it's a way that does take work, but there's a lot of opportunities for you in that aspect. So just to review, we talked about what sync music is, which is someone licensing your music and using it in a TV show or movie. We talked about the kind of the three main players: music supervisor, music library, and a sync agent. And then we kind of talked briefly about, not email blasting, researching where your song should be placed at, and then having a professional recording. So tomorrow I'm going to kind of walk through just really kind of in the weeds of what that looks like, doing your research, what it looks like to get a proper pitch to a music supervisor, and kind of concentrating on that realm as that's where you keep all of the money, right? If you pitch directly to a music supervisor, you keep your upfront sync fee. You don't have to split it with the library or an agent, and you keep all the back-end royalties. So we'll walk through basically finding a similar artist to who you are and what you sound like, and how you can use that to then research what TV shows are pitching are placing that similar artist, and then from there looking at who that music supervisor is on that TV show, and then finding out how to contact them and how to construct, an email that will actually be read with all the emails that they get that will actually stand out to them. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Just wanted to kind of remind you guys that, we do have a recording workshop, and it is going to be this Saturday and Sunday. We're going to be recording Lauren Grace, an awesome singer-songwriter, and we're going to be recording and mixing, mastering, editing. We're going through the full process. And the link to that is in our bio on Instagram, and also it is in our link on Facebook. And, I guess, and a last thing is, kind of a call to action is that, a lot of people kind of will ask me, is my music, up to that professional standard? Do you think it would be placeable or syncable, right? And if you have a link to your music, we'd love to hear it at Rec Room. So just either Instagram message us, or you can email us if you want at info@recroomrecording.com. You can send a Facebook Messenger if you want, or you can comment on YouTube with a link. And if you could just make a streamable link, we can give you real-time feedback and just let you know, some things that sound great, maybe some things that need to be worked on, and just to give you an idea of where your music kind of stands in regards to if it's ready for sync music. So thanks a lot for your time, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12:45 on Facebook and 12:30 on Instagram.